Okay, so we've got our tree moving back and forth. We have our baskets following our mouse back and forth. We have scoring going on. We have baskets are able to catch things. We have cherries being destroyed when they hit the ground, our boundary. But obviously, we want some other things to happen. We want this to be more exciting. We want, let's see, when a cherry hits the ground, we should lose a basket. Right? Okay. So, let's see. What should happen when the cherry hits the ground? The cherry hits the ground, and that's happening here in our boundary behavior, right? So here's cherry hits the ground. And instead of a single cherry being destroyed, maybe all cherries should be destroyed. Okay, so let's give this a body here. And I'll put that in there. So how do we destroy all cherries? Well, we could just say let's get all the cherries, right? So how do we get all of the cherries? Well, we can get them according to their tag there, right? So let's see, how do we grab all of the cherries? Let's say we're going to create an array. Let's say game object array. Whoops, that's not an array. Game object array. Cherry array. And that's gonna be equal to, this is how we do it. This is the fancy part. Game object dot, you remember game object at find, but instead we want to find game object with tag. Game objects with tag, not just the first one, but all of them. Game objects with tag, and the tag is, of course, cherry. There. That will give us an array containing all of the game objects tagged cherry. So for each, I'm going to use a for each here. For each, let's see, what do they call it? It's a game object. We'll call them cherry. In cherry array, in that array, we're going to do something. Well, we're going to destroy them. We are just going to destroy all of them. Destroy, let's see, how do we get at them? Well, let's use cherry. There. Destroy cherry. Boom. Done. Cherry destroyed. All the cherries gone. All right. So, but what else should happen? Well, we should also, well, you know what? It should only be happening if there's cherry, because now we're going to be adding this. We want to get rid of a basket, right? Because you're supposed to be penalized a basket. So let's see here. How would we get a basket? Int. So we want to grab the last basket we created. So we're going to say int top basket. And then the top basket equals, if we have a list of baskets, right? Basket list dot count. That gives us the count of them. -1. That will be the number of baskets we actually have. Or the index of the top basket. Okay. So if top basket is greater than -1, meaning we have a basket, we want to do something. Here's our body here. And what is it we want to do? We want to destroy that basket. So we're going to say destroy basket list top basket. So there, that basket's, boom, going to be gone. And we also want to remove it from our basket list. Dot remove at top basket. Okay. So that will remove all of our baskets one by one. If we, Ooh, wait a minute, hold on. On collision, it's going to be colliding with stuff. We can't have that. So, if collision dot game object dot tag equals cherry, remember that one, then you got to do that stuff. So don't do all this stuff unless you're colliding with a cherry. So on collision enter 2D, if collision cherry, destroy a basket, destroy all the cherries. Right? That's if a cherry hits the ground, destroy a basket, destroy all cherries. Here we go. See what happens. Let me catch one first. Ding. Okay, nothing happened. Boom. Okay. Boom. Another one. We lost him. And we're done. And do we keep dropping? That's not good. All right. Seems like we're almost done, though. All right. So the tree moves back and forth. We're catching cherries. The cherries drop. Boundary. Let's go back here. And redo that. So if everything happened, so we did this. If we have no more baskets, what do we want to do? If top basket is less than 0, we probably want to do something special. Let's reset the game. Why not? How are we going to reset the game? Well, we're going to use the scene manager to relaunch the whole thing. Now, first thing I'm going to remember this time, using Unity engine dot scene management. Okay, we got to know about that. What? Come on. Scene management. There. If the top basket says, so look at that, scene manager, and we're going to say load scene. And what scene are we going to load? Well, let's rename our sample scene. Let's rename this guy. And let's see, what should we name it as? I'm going to rename it down here. Sure, let's rename it right here. Sample scene. Oh, we'll name it, well, main scene. I don't know. Yeah, main scene. Not sample scene, main scene. Capital main scene. Okay. Jump back. And we'll tell it load main scene. All right, save. Play. Trees moving back and forth. Catching apples. All right, that's working. Let's miss some apples. Okay, boom. And here we go. Boom. Hey, it actually did it. We loaded the scene. It worked. Let's miss some more apples. See it again. Boom. And boom. Interesting. It actually waited till the fourth one hit the ground. So there's a bug. It should have said less than or equal to. So we have no baskets. Top basket is 0 in this case because it might have just removed the 0th basket. And that's really what's going to do the trigger. So we don't want to have it lose that extra one. So that was the bonus. This is to check if see if you're actually watching the whole video. If you missed that part. All right, 1, 2, 3, boom, and it resets. All right. Okay, we could stop right there, and that's a pretty good stop, a pretty good point to stop because I'm going to get some lunch. Next, we should look at the high score and saving that via preferences. And we're also going to look towards adding sound to our objects. Okay, where were we? So We've created the tree, the cherry, the basket. We have multiple cherries dropping. We've got multiple baskets. We lose baskets when things go wrong. We don't have a high score yet. So let's do the high score. Let's see. On our canvas here, we have our regular score output. But let's add to that, we're going to add another UI text object. And we will call that high score output. Okay. And there it is over there. We're going to make it similar. 24 point? And maybe we'll move it around a little bit. Our canvas here. High score output. So move it right there. We're going to call, let's make the default high score 1,000. So you have to do some work before you get to high score. And what we will do, let's leave that at 0. But what we will do is we will go here into our bounds. And remember, our boundary behavior is where all the main game setup and stuff happens because it's the world. The world has the boundaries on it. So, in addition to having public int score, we will also have public int high score. And we will, rather than just initialize that, we are going to read that high score. We're going to use something called player preferences, player prefs. So we will get high score equals, and how do we grab them? Well, we just do player prefs dot. Now, we're going to ask for a integer, get int, and we're going to use a tag or a key, right? A key on it, and our key, we're just going to use HS for high score. So that's the key we're going to look for, and we're also going to put a default value of 1,000. So if there is no high score already set, sorry for being so emphatic there, it's going to set it to 1,000. All right. So that's where it gets set. So where do we save it? Okay, well, we should save it right in here. When we decide that the game is over, we can say player prefs dot set int, and we will set the key again, and now we will pass the value, and the value is going to be high score. So if the high score is changed, it reads it at the beginning, and then it saves it again right before it reloads the scene. So perfect. That should do the trick. The question, of course, is how to change the high score. So up here in our increment score, we had score plus equals. So all we have to do is say if score is greater than high score. All right. Let's give it a body of something to do here. We're going to say high score equals score. Right there. That was easy. But now we want to put it out on the screen as well. We know how to do that because this is how we did that right down here. So we're just going to do that the same thing. If it changes, we're going to look for high score output, and we're going to put high score to string. All right, let's save that, see what happens. Let's give this game a whirl. We press play, and if everything goes well, let's, okay. High score was 0. What happens once we get to 1,000? Ah, okay, it incremented. But and it's keeping on iterating, which is good. The problem was we didn't set the initial state of the screen object to 1,000. That's why we didn't see it right away. So let's fix that. Let's go in here and we'll look in our boundaries and let's see. Let's set that right away as well. So over here, we load in the high score and boom, piece of cake. We just grab that value, set that to the text, and we now have a high score on the screen. Let's make it look a little prettier though, shall we? So, I don't know. We'll just add another little piece of text. And this text will be nothing more than something that says high score. And a little colon there. And we'll set it to 24. And maybe we'll make it bold. Okay. And we'll move it around. There. We'll move that a little bit. And the high score output, we'll move that over. There. Change the boundary of that a little bit, maybe. High score there. And I guess we could just move that there, move that there, whatever. There. So now we will see the high score changing. Yay. And hit play. And high score set to 1,000. And if it goes higher. Now the interesting thing is if I stop the game midway through, it doesn't save the high score because it only saves the high score when the game ends. So I have to wait for it to destroy all 3 baskets. Otherwise, it will not save the high score. That's something to remember. Okay, so now you'll notice it's still 2,600 because if I quit the game without it saving the high score, then it wouldn't have done that. It wouldn't have saved it. Hopefully you understood what I meant by that. All right, so what do we got left to do? Let's see. We have the score increasing. We have the camera working. Everything looks pretty good, except we have no sound. All right, let's talk about the sound. Now, one of the sounds we have is this pew pew. And let's hear it. Oop, welcome to iTunes. Get out of here. Close. Quit iTunes. And I want to put the pew pew on the cherries. So let's open our cherry prefab. And I'm going to put the pew pew right there. Okay. It's going to play on awake. It is not going to loop. So as soon as a cherry is instantiated, it will go pew. So I get that automatically. You don't have to write any code. Ready? Pew, 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 pew. Piece of cake. Pew, pew. All right. Now, I also want to have that splat sound. I get this splat sound. Wonderful splat sound. And this ping sound. Okay. So obviously you want the splat sound to happen when the cherry hits the ground, right? So that happens. Let's look at our boundary behavior here. So boundary behavior knows about cherries hitting the ground. Now it also knows about incrementing the score. Oh, interesting. So that ping is happening every time we increment the score, and the splat is anytime a cherry hits a ground. So why don't we do this? We will say that we'll look at our boundary, our ground, our bounds, and I will put a glass ping on there. And then I will add another component, which is another audio component here, audio source. And the second one, I will put the splat on. Okay, so I have a splat and a ping, and the ping is the first one, and the splat is the second one. So let's see, how would I be able to call those? Well, it's pretty simple. Let's go to our bounds, and you remember we did this, remember game object find, not that one, but when we had to find all of the apples, or the cherries, excuse me, for each game object cherry in objects with tag. So that's one way to do that. But instead, maybe let's do this. Let's create a array of audio sources. All right, so we're going to say private audio source. Source, an array, and we'll call it, here's a suggested name, audio sources. Whoops. Okay. And let's see. So how do we get audio sources now? How do we fill that array up? Well, check this out. Oop, don't change that around. So in the start, I'm going to do this. I am going to say audio sources equals get components. And this is going to get the components, returns all components of type in the game object, right? So of type audio source. Okay. And that's a member function there. Cannot implicitly convert type unity audio source to audio source. What did I do? What did I do here? Let's take a look. Get components, audio sources. Oh, that's not right. Audio source. There. Gotta be careful here. Gotta be careful. There we go. So now our audio sources array contains both of those audio sources. So in the case of incrementing, let's remember which is which. Ping is the first one, and splat is the second one. So the ping is going to happen here. We're going to say audio sources 0.play. And that will play the ping. And here, when a cherry collides with the ground, that is going to play the splat. And that would be audio source 1. So if all goes well, that will do that. Now, so let's see. Let's come back here. Our bounds, we have our audio sources. The one thing we don't want them to do is we don't want them to play on awake. We want them to be quiet until we call them, right? They only happen in those play events there. So, all right, ready? Here we go. Pew, we got the pew. We got a ding. We got a splat. Now, you noticed it kind of cut short at the very end there, which, I mean, technically, oh well, but I came up with a sort of a hack to kind of let that play out. What we want to do is we don't want to reset the scene quite right away. We want to give it a little bit of room to breathe. So this part here where we load the scene, right here, this top basket 0, let's make that a separate function. We're going to call that private void restart. That should have a caps on there. Restart scene. And let's put those things in there. Okay. And we're going to invoke that here. We're going to say invoke Invoke what? Invoke restart screen. Restart scene, no, not screen. Scene. And we're going to do it after just a little bit of time, 0.5 seconds, 0.5f. So we're going to give it a little bit of time before it does anything. And you know what we're also going to do? To make sure no more apples drop while that's happening, we're going to delete the tree. How do we do that? How do we delete the tree? Well, that's easy. Destroy, right? Destroy game object. This is just our master game object. Game object.find. And it's named what? It's named tree. So destroy the tree. This way the tree disappears before we restart the scene, so it'll be gone for half a second or so. All right. Cannot convert from string to system.type. Why is that? Find object of type. Oh, not find object of type. It's just find. Whoops. There we go. Sometimes the auto completes your friend. Sometimes it's your nemesis. All right. Let's see what happens now. Ready? Zing. Splat. 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 And the game starts again. All right. There you have it. Tree bounces back and forth. All the mechanisms work in the game to save the score, to set a high score, catch baskets, destroy cherries. We pretty much did it. And that's pretty cool. I can't think of any other specific features that I was concerned about. We could do things like add particle systems and explosions and all that kind of cool stuff, or make the tree bounce up and down, or... Oh, I get an idea. You know what? Let's do something fun. Just a real simple, fun thing, which is the cherries. Let's go to the cherries. And let's spin the cherries, shall we? They have a rigid body 2D on them, and the cherries don't have much of anything to go on. So how do we spin the cherry? Watch this. The cherry gets created in where? The cherry gets created in... from the tree. Okay. So we come over in a tree, and while we're dropping that cherry, or we're creating the cherry, we are going to say cherry get component, and the thing we're going to get a component is going to be the rigid body 2D. Right? And whoops, from that we are going to add a torque, and we're going to just put a, I don't know, a little bit of spin on that cherry. Ready? So let's see what happens now. This is our added bonus that we're gonna spin the cherry. Ooh, they spin a lot. So maybe that's a lot of spin. We'll change that. Just a tiny bit of spin. We'll put a spin of like 2. There we go. Just makes it that much more fun. So there's lots of little things to watch for in terms of how you do this. We didn't really get into the layers and different things that can affect the behavior. If you did things in the order, if you built them in the order that I did, things would kind of work out. If you need to, you might want to reorder layers. Like you say you have a background. How can we find a background? Let's go to the asset store. And we will hopefully, sorry for the clicking noise there. We're going to go to the asset store and look at my assets that I've already downloaded. And we're going to go to that, where is Sunnyland? Here's Sunnyland. So here's Sunnyland. And let's import. And we're going to look for back here. Okay, this little background. So nothing else. None of these other things. No sprites. No FX, no items, no players, no demo scenes. Just that one background. Let's import that. And you'll see in Sunnyland, we now have under artwork, environment, background. So grab that, bring that over here, and there it is. Awesome. Kind of small. Why don't we scale that? 10? 10? Maybe that's big. Maybe that's too big. Let's go to the scene. And we'll look at the main camera. And it definitely looks too big over there. So we'll go to background, and we'll scale it to just 5 and 5, which is what we know the scene is about, you know, about that big. Now the weird thing is, you may have noticed that I can't see the tree anymore. Where's the tree? The tree's hiding back there. Okay, so what we should do is we should push the background back in the scene. The way we do that is we change the order in the layer. We make it a big negative number. Negative 100. That means it's way behind there. All right. So that's just kind of for our reference sake. And the tree, we're going to make the tree, just for the sake of it, we're going to make the tree 10. So the tree will always be in the front. Even when cherries appear, they're going to appear behind this tree, which is kind of how it's happening now. So that's fine. And baskets don't really matter. Baskets are going to be in the middle ground there. And you see they're set back in assets. If we went here and we looked at the prefab, they're just set at 0. And the same thing for cherries. They're just, whoops, that's not the cherry we want to look at. We want to look at the cherry prefab. That's set also at 0. So they sit right smack in the middle, which is fine. So now we have the tree floating over the ocean kind of thing. Cherries dropping with a little spin. Everything working great. All right, have fun adding all kinds of other things to that. Maybe you want to give the tree something to float on, or maybe you want to make the tree bounce up and down, or the tree should flip depending on what direction it faces. You know, if it bounces off of something, you might want to make it flip its orientation. All kinds of cool stuff. Okay, until next time, this is Eric, aka Eraser Mice, here on my Learn Max channel. So if you're interested in further game development stuff, or Lego building stuff, or robotic stuff, or music production stuff, any kind of these kind of crazy hobbies that I have, please do feel free to join me.